Excuse me, Miss Mitchelson, would you mind explaining why you're taking the day off so suddenly? There's a lot of work I need you to do for me today. I've noticed you've been taking much more time off after coming back from maternity leave. I hope you're not planning to use the fact that you waited until you were 41 to have your first child as an excuse to slack off at work. The pregnancy must have been hard on your body considering your age, but you're the one who made the choice to get pregnant. That's neither my fault nor this company's. I understand that you must be happy after finally conceiving after being married for 15 years, but you still have your responsibility to this company. This is your job. I expect you to do it.
Good morning, Mr. Sanders. I'm terribly sorry for calling in with such late notice.
If you've got time to apologize, then you've got time to work.
I explained the reason I took the day off to Nancy. She's the one who answered when I called in the morning. My daughter suddenly got a high fever. I was worried about whatever she may have spreading to the other kids at her daycare, so I decided to keep her home from school today. I was just about to take her to the doctor, and since I don't know how long I'll be waiting, I thought it best to take the whole day off.
A fever? Oh, come on, that's probably just a cold. Why get so worried over just a stupid cold? Put the kid to sleep and turn on the TV for them or something. I need you here!
Mr. Sanders, my daughter is only a year old, and fevers can be caused by a number of things. It could be something serious, and I don't want to take that risk with my child.
Stop dodging the issue. You know full well this is our busiest time of the year, Mitchelson. Do you have any idea what kind of burden your absence is putting on the rest of the employees?
I'm really sorry about causing trouble for everyone else, but it's my primary responsibility to look after my daughter's health and well-being as her mother. I can't leave her behind and go to work in these circumstances.
Of course you can!
I think any mother would feel the same way as I do. I'm taking today off, Mr. Sanders.
I don't believe this. If that's your attitude toward work, you're fired!
Mr. Sanders, you're the office manager. You don't have the authority to fire me.
So what? I can just tell my superior about your continued insubordination and he'll fire you. There's nothing you do in your job that couldn't be handled by anyone else. I've said it before and I'll say it again. No one is irreplaceable, especially not you, Mitchelson.
Oh, is that so? Then go ahead and fire me.
What?
I can't leave my child alone at a time like this. I'd be neglecting my responsibility as her parent.
Ha! So you're choosing your child over your job. Have it your way. Enjoy unemployment. That should teach you not to cross me.
Hi, Megan. How's your daughter doing?
Much better, thank you. The doctor prescribed us some medicine. She's sleeping soundly right now.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Thanks for asking.
By the way, Mr. Sanders came into the office earlier and said that you were fired? I thought you were just taking the day off to care for your daughter. Did something else happen? I was so shocked to hear that.
I'm sorry to have worried you, Nancy. He said that he'd fire me if I put my daughter first, so I told him to go ahead and fire me.
Wow. What is he thinking? We're totally lost around here without you. He told me that I'll be in charge of all your old duties now?
Oh, about that. I thought that something like this may happen, so I put together a manual some time ago to keep things moving smoothly while I'm gone.
You did? Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
However, that was something I started doing under the previous manager. You remember Mr. Rogers? He retired about a year ago. When Mr. Sanders came in as a replacement, he told me that it was a waste of time and to stop working on it.
That's ridiculous! A waste of time? What is wrong with him?
Oh, don't worry. There was a pre-existing manual, titled Manual 5, so I kept working on my manual in secret and attached it to the end of the old one. It's in my personal folder in the shared cloud storage, so go ahead and copy it into yours. If possible, do it at a time when Sanders isn't around. It might get messy if he found out about it.
Gotcha. Let me look for it. Oh, found it!
Excellent! There are some technical things that are difficult even with the manual, so it might take some time to get used to everything.
Hey, it's better than nothing. Thanks so much, Megan.
Let me know if I can help you out in any way.
Seriously, though, how can they fire you? Mr. Sanders must be out of his mind. I'm gonna go and give him a piece of my mind after lunch.
Nancy, it's okay. Calm down. I don't want you to go getting yourself in any trouble. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. For now, I think it's best if you keep your head down.
But Megan...
It's okay, Nancy. Do you think I would just let myself get fired without having a plan in mind?
A plan?
I know it may be hard to wait, but everything will become clear soon enough.
Hello, Miss Mitchelson. Would you mind coming back to work right now? It's a mess over here. Miss Mitchelson!
Good morning, Mr. Sanders.
Oh, good, you're there. Now please, come into work.
I'm sorry. I was under the impression I wasn't working there anymore.
Nothing official has happened yet. You're still an employee on the books.
I'm afraid I'm not. I've already tendered my resignation to the main office.
What's the main office? Aren't I your immediate superior? Why would you go over my head like that?
Because upper management lost their confidence in you.
That's impossible!
Didn't you hear that our office is merging with the branch in the neighboring city?
You knew about that?
You're being demoted, aren't you, Mr. Sanders?
How did you know about that?
I made a report to upper management about the way you treated me when I took the day off to take care of my daughter. They called me in to personally apologize, and they told me everything.
They apologized for what? I didn't do anything wrong!
In the middle of the corporate push to support employees with young children, you tried to force me to come into work rather than take care of my sick daughter. And when I refused to come in, you told me to, quote, put the kid to sleep and turn on the TV for them or something. That's quite an irresponsible thing to say, don't you think? And to top it all off, you told me I was fired when you had no authority to do so.
But why would they shut down the whole office?
If you don't understand why, that just goes to show your incompetence as a manager.
What do you mean?
Not to blow my own horn, but I was carrying quite a lot of weight on my back at that office. When I became pregnant and was about to give birth, I talked to the previous manager, Mr. Rogers, and decided to start making a manual for my job. Unfortunately, Mr. Rogers retired due to an illness. And when you took his place, you told me that the manual was, quote, a waste of time, and told me to stop working on it, even though I was just a few days away from completing it. I finished it in secret anyway.
You kept working on that stupid thing?
Even with the manual, though, my job is highly technical and difficult for an inexperienced person to pick up in a short amount of time. In short, you fired someone who was doing a job that no one else at the office was capable of doing.
I did.
And as a result, the company was unable to find someone who they could train to do that job. The office's performance declined precipitously to the point that even ordinary work could no longer be done. So, upper management swiftly took action and decided to merge our office with the one in the neighboring city, where they do have an employee capable of and experience in doing my job.
Why don't you just come back to work then? That'd solve everything.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
While the circumstances are unfortunate, I had been planning to retire for some time now.
You were?
My husband is set to receive a substantial promotion at the company he works for, and as a result, we're moving to a location that's too far away for me to continue working there. I was just about to speak to you about this when you made the decision to fire me.
Oh no.
So, it looks as though the merger is inevitable at this point.
I can't believe it. Why is this happening to me? Where's the manual? You finished it, right? Where is it?
Wouldn't you like to know?
If I can get my hands on it, we might be able to avoid the merger.
I'm sorry, but I've already handed it over to upper management.
No!
When I told them I gave it to Nancy, they said they would greatly appreciate me giving it to them to use at the new location. They were quite happy to receive it.
No way! What about me? What am I going to do now?
That's something you'll have to think about on your own.
I climbed all the way up to office manager.
I'll be going now.
I was on my way up! I was going places!
Do take care of yourself, Mr. Sanders. Farewell.
I was the office manager!
Hi, Megan. It's nice to talk to you again.
Hi, Nancy.
How are things?
Me, my husband, and my daughter are all doing great. Thanks. How are things going at the new branch office, Nancy?
It's great. I'm finally getting the hang of your job now. That manual was a really big help.
Glad to hear it.
Oh, by the way, about Sanders?
What about him?
He got fired.
He did?
Yeah, this new girl in the office he had his eyes on for a while announced that she was getting married, and Sanders went absolutely nuts.
Wow.
He broke a bunch of the office equipment on his way out, too. I heard he got hit with $20,000 in damages that he's got to pay off now.
That man is something else, isn't he?
I also found out recently that Sanders had been divorced twice. Kinda makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe that in a heartbeat.
The guy is just plain nuts. Oh, hey, my boyfriend's here, so I gotta run.
Good for you. You have a date today?
Yeah, we're going to the zoo.
Have fun.
Thanks, will do. Talk to you later.
I was wondering how a guy like him managed to become regional manager, but it turns out he had been taking credit for his subordinates' work. This all came to light during the merger. So Sanders was already hanging on to his job by a thread. Then when he had his outburst in the office, it was all that upper management could take and they got rid of him. He was put on leave without pay the next day, and the next time he was seen in the office, he was packing up his things. No one said anything to him, no goodbyes or miss yous. Such a sad way to go. He's now living on his own in a tiny apartment near the old office, but he seems to be unable to find a job paying as much as he was making before getting fired. So he's currently working multiple jobs and gradually chipping away at the $20,000 he owes the company.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey Mika, you got those divorce papers my lawyer sent, right? Make sure you get them to the courthouse as soon as possible. Got it?
Yeah, I got it, Jaden. Do you want me to shoot you a text when I turn them in, or what?
Come on, Mika. How badly do you want to stay in contact with me? We're through. We're never getting back together.
Good grief, would you get over yourself? I was just wondering if you wanted me to let you know when we were officially divorced or not.
Listen up, Mika. I'm just about to leave on a relaxing, romantic, luxurious spa vacation with my beloved Samantha. A message from you ruining the mood of our celebratory vacation is the last thing I want. Do I make myself clear?
Okay, I'll take that as a no, loud and clear.
I'm glad you're finally starting to understand me. And just so we're perfectly clear, let me say it one more time. We are through, so don't bother trying to get back together with me. Now that I'm rid of you, I'll finally be free to enjoy life with Samantha. I no longer have any room for you in my life at all. None, zilch, nada. Got it?
You're such a narcissistic clown. Do you honestly think that after all you've put me through, I'd actually be interested in getting back together with you?
Looks like I hit a little too close to home.
Whatever. This is how we say goodbye then, I guess.
Yep, goodbye and good riddance.
Hey, Mika, are you there? Where are you right now? I tried ringing your doorbell, but no one came to the door and the house looked all dark. Where on earth are you? Please, the moment you see this message, you've got to get in touch with me. Rachel? We haven't talked in ages. What's going on? There you are, finally! You seem pretty serious. Did something happen, or are you okay? I'm fine. This isn't about me. Hasn't my mom messaged you? I thought she would have told you about what was going on. In any case, you've got to get down to the hospital as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel. The truth is that I blocked your mom a while ago. You what? Why would you do that? I guess that's besides the point now. So you haven't heard about my brother? Well, no, I haven't spoken to Jaden since 2 days ago. He was in a car crash, and he's in the hospital right now. A car crash? You need to get down to the Central City Hospital as soon as possible. There's a lot we'll need to talk about moving into the future, so I thought it would be best for the whole family to gather together in person. Hold on, Rachel, calm down for a second. How can you be calm when your husband is in the hospital? My husband? Wait a second. Rachel, didn't you hear about what happened between us? No, what? Jaden and I are divorced, Rachel. What? You are? Yeah, it was finalized 2 days ago. This is the first I've ever heard of this. Oh my goodness. I see. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I guess that would explain why you haven't been contacting Jaden and haven't come down to the hospital yet. I guess. Wow, this day just keeps getting crazier. I'm sorry, Mika. I must have surprised you when I started texting you in a panic all of a sudden like that. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You just didn't know. I know this is probably a sensitive issue, and I don't mean to pry, but was the divorce over my brother's infidelity? How did you know? Well, I had my suspicions when the doctors mentioned that there was another passenger in the car Jaden was driving, and it was a female who I had never met before. Apparently the accident happened while they were on their way back from their spa vacation. Ah, I see. The doctor said her name was Samantha. Does that ring any bells? Well, I suppose there's no point in hiding it anymore. Yes, Samantha is the woman whom Jaden was cheating on me with. I see. I am terribly sorry for the way my brother treated you. I already told you, Rachel, you don't have anything to apologize for. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, well, I guess that does explain a lot of things then. Gotcha. I don't know much of the details of the accident at this point, so I'll message you again sometime later after we talk to the police. For now, I can tell you that the doctors say that his injuries aren't life-threatening. I don't know exactly how things are going to go from here on out, but there might be some times when I need to get a hold of you. Is that okay? Sure thing, Rachel. Just let me know whenever you need anything. Now, how about you, Rachel? How are you dealing with all of this? Are you okay? Me? Yes, you. I know that neither Jaden nor your mother have treated you very well over the years, and that's just from the things I've heard and seen from Jaden. I can't imagine what they were like when I wasn't around. Well, I suppose that's to be expected. I'm only her stepdaughter, and ever since my dad died, she started treating me differently than before. I'm not sure what the extent of Jaden's injuries are, but do you think they might try to force all the work of taking care of Jaden and his mistress onto you? I'm just asking out of concern for you, Rachel. I don't know. Your brother and I are divorced now, so it may not be my place to say this, but remember, there's absolutely no need for you to bear the burden all by yourself, Rachel. You take care of yourself, you hear me? Thanks, Mika. I'll do that.
Mika, what's your problem? When are you finally going to step up and take responsibility for taking care of me? You know I'm wheelchair bound now. Don't pretend you don't. Even my poor, sweet Samantha has to live with a wheelchair. She's an angel. She didn't deserve this. We're living in a wheelchair-accessible apartment right now, but even with all those accommodations, it's still a nightmare over here. Hurry up and get your butt over here and help out around the house.
Jaden, you are the last person I wanted to hear from today. We've been divorced for a few months now. What do you want from me?
Don't act dumb. I want you to take responsibility. You need to come over to our apartment every day and help us out.
Why?
You know why. We're stuck in wheelchairs for the rest of our lives. And just what have you been up to lately while shirking off your responsibilities to me, huh? Have you been having fun? Walking around? Going places?
No, I mean, why am I the one who has to take care of you? We're divorced.
Excuse me? You're my wife. Obviously you have to take care of me.
Do I need to teach you what the word divorced means?
At our wedding, you vowed to take care of me. Till death do us part.
Did you get a brain injury in that crash?
In sickness and in health, Mika. And right now, I'm cashing in on the in sickness part. You're gonna fulfill your duties to me as my wife, or else.
We are divorced. I am not your wife.
What?
What do you mean, what? You told me to fire the papers, quote, as soon as possible. And just like you told me, I went down to the courthouse the very same day and filed them. We're divorced.
You never told me that.
You also told me that I didn't need to tell you when I submitted them.
I did?
I asked you if you wanted me to message you when I submitted the divorce papers. You said no and further stated, again, directly quoting you here, a message from you ruining the mood of our celebratory vacation is the last thing I want. So, like you told me, I didn't tell you. Got it?
Wait, but you were only asking me that because you wanted an excuse to keep talking to me, weren't you?
No, I assumed that you had plans to marry your mistress as soon as we were divorced, and so I thought you might like to know at what point that would be legally possible. That's all.
But you never messaged me, so I figured, I don't know, maybe you were still in love with me and hadn't submitted them yet.
My God in heaven, you told me not to message you! Seriously, how bad was the brain damage you suffered in that accident?
I didn't suffer any brain damage. I'm just as smart as I've always been. Listen, Samantha and I are having a really hard time of things getting adjusted to life in a wheelchair. My mom helps us out when she can, but she's had a bad back, so she can't do everything all the time. We need someone to take care of all three of us.
Then hire someone. Did you really think you would be able to talk your ex-wife into moving back in with you to be your live-in maid? If you hadn't gotten a CAT scan yet, get one soon.
Okay, well, then I can just make you my legal wife again.
Huh?
We've been pretty busy over here the last few months between being in the hospital, going through rehabilitation, and then getting adjusted to our new lifestyles, so we haven't had the time to get legally married. So it just so happens that I'm a perfectly eligible bachelor. We can get married again. You can be my wife and help out me, Samantha, and my mom around the house. Isn't that a great plan?
I am more and more convinced that they lobotomized you while you were in the hospital. Do you even have any brains left in your skull?
What's up with that attitude? I'm offering you the chance to get back together with me. Are you really going to throw it in my face like this?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, of course I am, you complete moron.
But why?
Don't insult my intelligence, Jaden. Rachel finally got tired of taking care of you and moved out, didn't she? And the only reason you're contacting me right now is because you want me to take over for her.
Wait, how do you know that Rachel moved out?
Because she told me she did. She told me that she's only your stepsister and that her father married your mother and that he had passed away a few years ago. And ever since then, it was just you, your mom, and Rachel living together in your house. She also told me that she started treating her like trash as time went on. I guess the two of you thought that since Rachel wasn't a blood relative, that you could force her to do all the cooking and cleaning while you just laze around the house.
Yeah? And so what if we did? She's supposed to take care of her family.
Rachel learned something very important recently. When your mother married her father, she never legally adopted her as her daughter.
Once again, so what? She's still my stepsister and my mom's stepdaughter.
Stepchildren aren't like biological children, especially when they're adults like Rachel. When you marry someone with children, they don't automatically become your legal children. There is a process to legally adopt the children of your spouse, but again, your mother never did it. So there is no bond, legal or biological, binding Rachel to you and your mom.
Uh-oh.
Looks like you're starting to see where I'm going with this. I guess the doctors must have left a few pieces of your brain behind after all.
So, you're saying...
Don't hurt yourself by thinking too hard. I'll spell it out for you. The moment Rachel's father died, the only reason she had to stick around you two went away. So no, Rachel has no responsibility to take care of you or your mother. I'm very sorry to say this, but you won't be able to rely on either the sister you mistreated nor the wife you cheated on to take care of you. Tough luck. And to be really honest, expecting me or her to care for you is an unprecedented low, even for you.
Hey, you're probably aware of this, but Samantha kinda got cut off by her parents, so she doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Oh no, she got cut off by her parents after they found out she got in an accident riding with the married man she was sleeping with. This might be a little harsh, but right now, the two of you are getting exactly what you deserve.
Please, Mika, you've got to come back to me. We really need some help around here.
Then go and hire someone to do it for you.
We can't hire somebody to help us without any money. Both Samantha and I had to quit our jobs after the accident, so we've got almost no income.
Not my problem.
How can you be so cold to me after all we've been through together?
Ah, yes, we have most certainly been through a lot together, haven't we? I remember it all so clearly, from our first date to your proposal, to our wedding and honeymoon, and then finally the day I found out you were sleeping with another woman. And if this had happened before that last one, I probably would have stuck with you, for better or for worse. But I would sooner die than spend the remaining years of my life nursing the cheating scoundrel who betrayed me.
All right, fine, whatever. You won't help us. Then can you at least tell me where Rachel went so I can contact her? You said you had been talking to her, right? Just her phone number would be okay. Please? She's my last hope.
Not a chance.
Why not?
Think about it. Rachel is, for the first time in years, finally free of the curse you and your mother had brought upon her. She is taking her first steps as a free woman. And as she's enjoying her newfound freedom, do you think she'd appreciate being bombarded from texts, begging for help from the stepbrother who directly contributed to her years of torment? So no, I would never tell you Rachel's location or phone number, not even if you were lying on your deathbed.
Then who's going to take care of us? If you won't, and Rachel won't, then who?
Don't know, don't care.
Come on!
Goodbye. Forever. Jaden didn't know when to give up, so I blocked his number after that. And just to be safe, I went out and got a new phone number the next day. Since I also moved apartments since then, I think it's safe to say I don't need to worry about the three of them bothering me anymore. I'll also still keep in touch with Rachel. She gets updates on what Jaden is up to through a friend of hers. Apparently, after getting married to Samantha, an acquaintance of theirs was decent enough to hire them on as disabled hires in the same company they used to work at. So it seems that they should be able to make ends meet, if only barely. However, their personalities always were, well, atrocious. And once word got around about the circumstances behind them ending up in a wheelchair, everyone's opinions of them managed to get even worse than they already were. Despite the cold treatment by their old colleagues, they need their jobs so desperately that they can't quit. So they have no choice but to bear with the constant jeers and scorn they face every single day they show up at the office.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.